Hello everyone, I'm Manisha Nadar and today I'm going to talk about vaccination. Protect yourself and those around you. Let me begin by telling you a short story. Once a mechanic met a doctor. He says to the doctor, "Hey, we kind of perform the same job, doc." So the doctor smiles and responds, "Yes, we do. We both fix things." But then the doctor asks a follow-up question. He asks the mechanic, "Have you ever considered fixing the same car when it's actively running on the road?" Now, this leaves the mechanic wondering. And then he realizes the intensity of their job and the areas that they are trained in is vastly different, although it might sound same. Now, you may wonder, how is this story relevant to vaccination? I have come across people who have serious medical conditions that prevents them from getting vaccinated. There are people who have strict religious beliefs and that prevents them from getting vaccinated. But then there are other people who fall into the trap of getting manipulated by the false information on social media, and that prevents them from getting vaccinated. Now, when we let our kids ride a bike, we suggest them to wear safety gears to protect them from a fall that may or may not happen. Now, is it not a responsible act from us to consider true information, verify and research before we go against vaccination? Vaccines have been proven to be one of the most successful and cost-effective methods to prevent disease. Do not rebel against vaccination because of the false information you go through on social media. All this information might be a little vague. Let me get in some more details. How many of you knew that an infant can die of something as simple as diarrhea or pneumonia? That is true. Now, like I said, there are many questions that come up with us. Why should I let someone else tell what to put in my body? What are these vaccines even consist of? Do they have any side effects? Is it safe to get vaccine? What if I still get sick from some disease after getting vaccinated? Now, your concerns are right. Remember, there is no such thing as a stupid question. What's common sense for one is information for others. It is not your fault that there are all these fake informations online. But let me give you some examples that you can use to follow proper articles and news websites that are committed in giving you proper information to make good health choices. You can use websites that are government supported or based, which always have .gov on it. You can use websites that have the HTTPS padlocks on it, or you can also go for websites that have proper certification and recent updates on them. Now, these may help to refine the quality of your research online, but then you can always talk to your doctor, your social worker, or teachers in person and ask your questions to them, as they may be able to help you understand how some of the vaccines have been proven to be effective. To exercise our rights and liberty safely is important. Knowledge is wealth. Once you have acquired this knowledge, you will be able to go through proper information, research, and make appropriate health choices. Now, like I said, there are people who cannot get vaccinated because of strict religious beliefs, or there are people who cannot get vaccinated because of underlying health conditions. But if you are open to getting yourself physically examined every year or getting yourself screened for certain disease to protect yourself from conditions like diabetes, cholesterol, hypertension, and so many more, then you should also consider to get more details on vaccines. To explain this better, let me give you an example, which is also one of the most important one. According to CDC, the Center of Disease and Prevention, polio has been eradicated from US for 30 years now. Now, for those who were born in these past 30 years, may not even have ever witnessed what polio looks like. So they might have a question. Why should I get vaccinated for some disease that doesn't even exist anymore? Well, this disease was recently eradicated from India in 2014. But you might be still able to witness people who have been crippled by disease. Yes, you heard me right. This disease can leave a person crippled, having to depend the rest of their life on wheelchairs or crutches. Now let's say there are about 10 out of 100 people who decide not to get vaccinated. Now these 10 people need to understand that when they say a disease has been eradicated, that doesn't mean that the virus is completely taken off of our planet. This virus still exists somewhere around the world. So when the population of unvaccinated people keeps increasing and they come to exposure with any of these microbes that can cause a deadly condition, it is like a window opened to these diseases, and they will start spreading again amongst a population that is not vaccinated. Some of us may develop immune and fight the disease, while some of our immune system may not. So does that mean you're willing to take a chance with your health? Does that mean that you're willing to risk it? This may sound to be a little scary information, but herd immunity, that's how it works. When the increased population of unvaccinated people goes around, there are good chances that they may or may not be victim of some of these deadly diseases. So the freedom to make decisions for ourselves that we have achieved over the years also makes us responsible to make choices based on appropriate information to keep up with the statistics of the disease that the world has been eradicated over years by the help of vaccination. The advancement of medical system is not available all around the world in the same level. So what may seem as not to be a big deal, as not to be a concern to you, you should remember is still somewhere in the world. Now the function of World Health Organization and all these other massive groups is to keep health and order in the world. So their researches and their commitment is to our good health. So to respond to them, it is our choice. We have to make proper decision based on right and true information. Vaccines are one of the most cost-effective methods to protect us from some deadly diseases. Just because of some false information on social media, do not rebel against vaccines. Vaccination is not just to prevent one individual, but it helps to control the spread of some deadly disease to those around you. At the end of the day, we make our calls, but to make it wisely and responsibly is an act of a responsible parent and citizen. Better late than never, better safe than sorry. Vaccinate to prevent ourselves and those around us. I have taken these images to help you understand it better from websites such as from World Health Organization, Center of Disease Control and Prevention, UNICEF, and a few others. The material for my references for my speech is also from websites such as World Health Organization, CDC, UNICEF, and a few others. Thank you. Make good health choices.